face. Wait a second. You're not voting for George W. Bush, are you? And then Mr. Rabbi says, yeah, actually, David, I'm a Republican. I'm going to vote for George W. Bush. And of course, Mammon is gobsmacked. He is immediately concerned for his rabbi's eternal salvation. And says, look, I don't know what's happened. I don't know how you have veered off into the wilderness, but we need to bring you back. I want to send you some books that I'd like to talk about so that we inform this kind of ignorant cloud under which you are currently residing. And so the rabbi says, sure, send me the books. And so Mammon sends him the kind of wrote liberal tracts like What's Wrong with Kansas and others, and they talk about it. And then Mammoth's rabbi said, okay, now that we've run through your library and had conversations about the scholarship that you place value on, now can I send you some books? And can we talk about the books that are important to me, that I think are seminal when you think about contemplating how society should be ordered? And Mammoth says, sure, of course, defers to his rabbi. And Mammoth's rabbi sends him books like Conflict of Visions by Thomas Sowell, and Witness by Whittaker Chambers, and Capitalism and Freedom by Milton Friedman, and Road to Serfdom by Hayek. And so they read them, and they talk about them. And slowly but surely, Mammoth starts to move, until culminating a decade later with the publication of The Secret Knowledge this past summer. And by the way, in The Secret Knowledge, and the, not spoiler alert, The Secret Knowledge, so you understand that Mammoth really did have a conversion. The secret knowledge is nobody has the secret knowledge. That's the secret knowledge, which is why you shouldn't trust power to distant bureaucracies. But it was Conflict of Visions by Thomas Sowell that really flipped Mammoth. But the interesting thing, twofold. One is Mammoth's 60 years old, plus now, writes 7-figure screenplays for a living. Very educated guy, intellectual, thinker, smart guy. Never heard the arguments. Never exposed to the scholarship. I think too often we think everybody's heard all the arguments, everybody's read all the books, and some people just choose statism. Some people just choose collectivism over liberty. When in point of fact, people haven't heard the arguments. They haven't been exposed to the scholarship. And it places really a responsibility on us within our circles of influence to make sure we are opinion leaders, to make sure that our friends and neighbors and colleagues and coworkers hear the arguments and are exposed to the scholarship, because ideas do matter and they do move people. The other thing that was important, and Mammoth's rabbi recounts this in some of the articles about the book, why he thought that David would be open to converting. And what Mammoth's rabbi said is what the left tries to do is squash people, make people one-dimensional. You are your income tax bracket, and that's all you are. And David is an artist, and he understands instinctively that people are multidimensional. And any philosophy that purported to explain the human condition or suggest how human interaction should be regulated, that treated people as one-dimensional, would be rejected out of hand by Mammoth, and that's precisely what happened. So, what's our story going to be? What is it that we are going to expose those who have been meandering in the darkness in Illinois to over the next cycle, and then with an eye towards 2014 and 2016 and beyond? Who is it that the Republican Party is going to be for? Because I can tell you, people in this state have no idea what the Republican Party brand is a promise to deliver. They have no idea who it is that we purport to represent, other than kind of clinging to stereotypes mostly promulgated by the left, that we're the party of the one percenters, as you see on display at LaSalle and Jackson every day for the last several weeks. And this is incumbent upon us. So what is the story? What is the kind of the story that we're going to lay out so that we get to the right solution? Well, so defining that constituency. So let me take a shot at what I think the narrative is and who I think our constituency is. A constituency that conveniently happens to be well more than 50% plus one, because ultimately this is about winning elections. And if you don't like my narrative, that's fine. I'm not running for office. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But I will challenge you to come up with your own. So one of the things I've noticed over the last 10 months after we passed the largest tax increase in Illinois history is that all of the big employers in this state, those with political leverage, are holding up the state for relief from those tax increases. We've seen it with Caterpillar and John Deere and Motorola Mobility, Sears, I mean, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, for God's sakes, is thinking about this, making noise while leaving Chicago. And I understand that they're going to do that. They have a bottom line to be sensitive to. They have shareholders in many cases to whom they are responsible. So of course they're going to try and cut the best deal for themselves that they can cut. I don't blame big employers for doing what they're doing, holding up Quinn and the Chicago Democrats to say, there are many places we can be that are not named Illinois that are much more friendly. So you make it make sense for us to be here, or maybe we'll start taking a harder look around. Understandable. But there's another group of businesses in this state who, when they die or go away, their deaths are unheralded. They don't have political leverage. Quinn doesn't take notice when their president makes noise or attempts to get commensurate tax relief. And those are the 1.1 million businesses in this state with fewer than 5 employees. 1.1 million businesses in Illinois with fewer than 5 employees. They represent 90% of all business enterprises. They are the real job creators.